I've read a decent amount of manga in my life. I've read some great ones, I've read some bad ones, and I've even read a few odd ones, but trust me when I tell you, nothing could have prepared me for this one. Dandadan is an ongoing 2021 manga being serialized under Shonen Jump Plus. It's written and illustrated by Yukinobu Tatsu, who helped Tatsuki Fujimoto with the production of Chainsaw Man as well as Fire Punch, and he also assisted Yuji Kaku with Hell's Paradise. So he's no newcomer to the manga industry, and he even has a few one-shots of his own. All these series are very similar in a few aspects, which is what I believe prompted Yukinobu to create Dandadan as the batshit, insane, crazy, and strange manga that it is. But for some reason I can't stop reading it. The manga basically starts with an introduction to our protagonist, Ken, or Okarun, who is a typical loner that keeps to himself. To balance out his loser syndrome, we are introduced to Momo, who doesn't play around about shit and would probably whoop my ass. One day, these two start to talk about the paranormal. Okarun starts yapping about Obama and the moon and knowing what Momo is into. I don't know, to be honest, he's kind of a weirdo. He believes in the supernatural, that aliens and UAPs and whatnot do truly exist, but thinks that if you believe in spirits, you're dumb. Momo, however, believes in the opposite. Her grandmother was a spirit medium, so she believes in spirits and the occult, not in aliens. They argue because they're equally as childish, but in order to settle this beef, there's only one option. They decide to have a bet. If Momo can prove the existence of spirits to Okarun, he would have to become her personal servant, and if Okarun can prove the existence of aliens to Momo, she would have to do the same. So they go their separate ways, to visit areas where the respective supernatural and the occult are associated, with Okarun going to a crackhead tunnel and Momo to an abandoned medical school. So remember what your parents would say,
"Don't go into a dark alley at night, especially on your own."
Yeah, let's listen to them next time. Once again, why would you wander into an abandoned hospital by yourself at night alone? Next time, don't. Okarun is met with a horny old spirit known as Turbo Granny who wants to steal his wiener. Yeah, Momo is chased by 3 aliens who want to reproduce their kind and have to use humans' banana organs for that. Yeah, the aliens attempt to reproduce their kind using Momo, but before they can, Okarun jumps out of her fucking phone bearing a new body possessed by the Turbo Granny. The aliens start whooping his ass, which for him hurts even more. He never had any friends and he thought that aliens would be those friends for him. But no matter how much he called them, they never answered. And now they're trying to steal his d. He wants to do whatever he can to stand up for Momo because she was the only person to show him the time of day, even if he becomes a monster in the process. Momo, on the other hand, is still strapped down, but remembers what her grandmother once told her about being a spirit medium. She always pushed these notions aside when she was younger as she was embarrassed, but she begins to realize the true power in chi that resides in her body. Then the shackles break and she starts floating and fucking shit up. Basically, she has paranormal abilities and the psychokinesis waves from the rapist aliens had opened up her chakra. Once the aliens are gone, Turbo Granny steals Okarun's thingy and leaves, telling them to come to the tunnel to retrieve it. And then she throws a stray at Momo and calls her a bitch. Me personally, I'm sorry, I'm not taking that. Regardless, after whatever the fuck just happened, Okarun and Momo collectively agree on the existence of aliens and spirits, which solidifies that these two are locked in and ready to take on whatever obstacles get in their way. So, I'm assuming you think I just spoiled an entire arc, right? Way too much just happened, but yeah, that was the first chapter. Yeah, everything that just happened in one singular chapter, the very first chapter of Dandadan. Horny spirits, rapist aliens, psychokinetic abilities, penis disappearances, and Obama. These are just a few things that go into what makes Dandadan unique. We've seen the batshit bizarre and insane trope done by many manga in the past. Chainsaw Man is a prime example and Yukinobu Tatsu actually helped work on that, so this trope isn't anything new. But what separates Dandadan from the rest? Well, for me, it's the artwork. Manga in recent years has improved drastically in the quality of its art and artistic expression, but Dandadan has something special. Visually, it is breathtaking. Every panel has something new and unique to offer to the story. The art has a way of being simple yet always having something going on. It's able to tell a story while also being just a genuine piece of art that is enjoyable to look at, and it's steady throughout the entire manga. Series like Hunter x Hunter have had insane leaps in illustration quality as the series went on, but since the jump, Dandadan has had fantastic artwork that is really accessible for readers. It's definitely not the best gateway into manga, you know, with the wiener stealing and the touchy aliens, but it's steady and consistent in what it does artistically. The story is always constantly moving. I find that there is never a dull moment. There's always action or romance or whatever this is. It's never stale. It's always giving the reader something new, whether it's a twist or a turn or whatever this is. Dandadan is a constantly progressing story that started out of nothing really, just two people researching the supernatural and the paranormal that turned into floating cows and milk blood. As weird as a story can be at times, the serious moments are truly one of a kind. It's able to tie its importance with comedy and make it seem natural. Usually in a serious manga, when they try to incorporate a funny moment, it comes off as forced, which removes all the value from it. But in Dandadan, it's able to switch immediately from a dark and gritty tone to Momo trying to square up with a Mongolian deathworm.
Nah, come at me, bro. Drop the gloves. I swear to God, I'll whoop your ass.
Dandadan is unique. You can't help but be invested in what our characters go through. As time goes on, the cast starts to feel like a family of sorts. The characters who met on a whim have now become closer than ever. Even moments where nothing out of the ordinary stands out, that's where the genuine charm lies. These are real people who, by a bizarre series of events, have had their lives intertwined with one another's, but they adapt and find support through each other. We are reading as a family is born. We continue to read each and every single chapter to watch as this table fills up with new people who make this group feel like a family. This is connection. Some characters who we see as villains at the start turn out to just be normal people. Dandadan tackles its antagonist cast very well. These spirits aren't just evil because of it. They once had lives and feelings and emotions that create their own stories that serve as the driving force for their actions. We see mothers who have not forgiven themselves. We see people who sympathize with those who have passed along with them. We see those in love who won't let go of their devotion to another person. These people we see as threats really aren't that much different to us during any of our lives. They experience loneliness and sacrifice, feelings of suicide and famine. Dandadan doesn't confine itself in a box of how a typical villain should be written. It's done in a way that allows us as the reader to follow their lives and start to genuinely care about them. No matter who the character is, within Dandadan, there's always a way that we care. Like Ira. She's a D1 Okurin hater and pisses off Momo too by spreading rumors about her. But when she needed to be saved, they came to her rescue because that's who Ken and Momo are. She's thankful for that and begins to regret that she even detested them in the first place. Especially Momo, but we forgive her and care for her and start to build a connection with her regardless of what she's done. With Gigi too. He comes off as Okurin's #1 rival in terms of being a Momo simp. He has this fake smile and this giddy attitude that anyone can see right through. But as he comes around more often, Ken starts to not really hate him as much, and they start to genuinely bond. That overly bright and affectionate smile isn't fake, he just truly enjoys the presence of others. These characters who start off as designed to be hated and untrustworthy become part of this family, and no matter what obscure things they may face, their connections matter more than any of the hurdles or obstacles in their paths. Whether it be physical or psychological, Dandadan finds a way to make these obstacles immersive, especially through the battles. Within every fight there is something new. It's a unique series in that aspect. I can't really think of any other series with similar fight structuring, especially because every single fight is different. Giant monsters one fight, soccer fight the next. The battles are never the same. With every panel of every fight there is so much raw detail and emotion, it's insane to me. I don't think I've ever read a manga this fast simply because of how quirky and engaging it is. The trope of batshit and crazy stories has been done before, we've established it, but after going through what makes Dandadan unique, even someone who hasn't read it can already begin to see its greatness. I think Dandadan has something unique to offer in manga, especially with the anime adaptation coming later this year. I believe it's going to take the industry by storm. With a story this unique, I think it's impossible for the anime not to succeed, and with how popular the manga has become as of late, I think it's only a matter of time before Dandadan enters the best new-gen shonen conversation. To summarize this entire video, Dandadan is a one-of-a-kind story. Starting on a whim, we experience the lives of so many people become interconnected and formed into a family. Each character has something different to offer, like a breath of fresh air. I promise you, as much as you try, you won't be able to find a story just like this one. Do me a favor, just read it. Dandadan is something so special and has everything you could ever ask for in a manga. Action, romance, fights, penis aliens, giant musicians, it's peak, come on, just read it. Anyways, that's all from me. Subscribe. I make videos like these pretty often because I'm a nerd and I love spending way too much time editing videos. Yeah. Love you. Bye-bye.